Thank you. Good morning, President Taylor and members of the board. I was a little surprised that Anthony didn't have a speech prepared. So we're normally accustomed to that with him. But we'd also like to take a moment to really thank Anthony and his long career. 36 years at a single employer is a rare thing these days. We do wish him well in his new role. CalSTRS, we don't really think that CalSTRS could not have chosen a better person to run their IT project. We know that Anthony has that experience of working through a CalPERS and a system replacement, which is no easy feat. Lots of challenges, I think, ahead for him, but ones that we know he is certainly up to. We'll also miss him and truly have appreciated the way that he has taken care of our members. He really has been working as more of an ombudsperson in addition to his leadership role on the executive team. Anytime we have a complex case or we have a major stakeholder issue, it's usually Anthony to the rescue, getting involved very quickly to get a resolution, whether that's on the pension side or also working with our healthcare team to get that positive resolution for the member. But also just really appreciate the way that he cared for his team as well. And I know that they are going to miss him too. So Anthony, more celebration and roasting to come for you, I'm afraid. So I'll start more of my remarks today by acknowledging our annual stakeholder forum and to thank everyone for their participation in the annual event. This was the fourth event of its kind, and I think it really does represent an opportunity for our stakeholders to openly engage with the board, more openly engage with us beyond the 3 minutes of public comment time that they're able to have. So I think it has been a valuable addition to the stakeholder meetings that we currently have, but having this in the lineup, the feedback that we're getting is please keep these. Please keep them as open as they have been and allow us the opportunity to interact with the board and with the team. In total, we were engaged with nearly 600 people throughout the day. We took, the experiences that we learned during the pandemic, and we offered an in-person option, and we also offered the virtual option. We offered the telephone option. So the maneuvering and the navigating around that, I think it went pretty well. But that does allow people who are not able to travel to Sacramento to be able to participate in this really important event. And about 50 of our stakeholders were in the room, including our entire board was here. So I think throughout the day, we were able to provide some important context about the decisions that we're making, whether that's on the investment side, whether that's on the healthcare side, also just to hear about what we believe are the challenges and the strategic priorities ahead for CalPERS. We do believe that direct feedback coming from our stakeholders is really important, and how we determine the resources, how we allocate the resources, and then determine the services that we need to provide to them. And we know that our stakeholders have a very strong vested interest in the success of the system. So I'd like to thank everyone who joined us and remind everyone that the forum is available for viewing on our CalPERS YouTube channel for those who were unable to make it or want to go back and take another look at a session that was done. Next, this does lead to a conversation about the reports you received this week about our CalPERS workplace culture, captured in the Commitment to Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion report, and in the results from our latest employee engagement survey. Both are crucial in our efforts to recruit and retain top talent and to form partnerships that support our strategic priorities. The employee engagement survey is one that we do on an annual basis. We did take a pause during the pandemic, but we did offer that employee engagement survey again last October. It is completely aligned to the human capital work that we do at CalPERS to make sure that we're delivering on our mission and that we have the talent, the important talent that we need to serve our members well. We also want our team members to recommend CalPERS as a destination employer. I know when I'm attending new employee orientation or I'm attending a midday, one of the questions I do ask is, what brought you to CalPERS if you're a newer employee? What keeps you at CalPERS if you're a later careered employee? And I always receive a lot of positive feedback there. And destination employer is a term that comes up every single time. The engagement survey and the work that we're doing around human capital, there is much data to support its importance. McKinsey does a report that talks about the importance of employees having a positive experience are 16 times more likely to be highly engaged, and 8 times more likely to remain on the job. And we know that a lot of employees have decisions today about where they work. We call that the war on talent. It is around us. And we want our team members who are here to choose us over any other option that may be available to them. We want new employees to choose us when they're looking at, their options or their offers in other, whether that's state departments here in Sacramento or whether that would be private industry. So this is an area where we spend a lot of our time as the executive team, as the Senior Leadership Council. Our team leaders spend much time on going through our employee engagement results and identifying the 1 or 2 actions that we believe would improve a team member's experience with CalPERS, whether that's at the team level or whether that's at the enterprise level. The executive team has identified 2 areas where we will be more actively involved in creating some focus groups to identify the difference between our pre-pandemic engagement survey, our post-pandemic engagement survey, and where we saw some scores drop. There are 2 primary areas where we saw that. 1 was in recognition, and 2 was having a sense of belonging. And so we will be spending some time with our employees, understanding a little bit more fully about the actions that would be necessary to bring those scores back to those pre-pandemic levels. So we're looking forward to doing that, and each of the executive team will be involved in facilitating one of those focus groups. So of the 5 pillars in the DEI framework, a great deal of work has been done in the areas of culture and talent management to foster the core values that define who we are, while also providing team members with the resources and the leadership to really make them feel connected to this organization. And that connection allows us to retain our really excellent team members. So one last thing before I close, I do want to mention the State Employees Food Drive that ran from November 7th through January 6th. This is an annual food drive among the state departments, state agencies that includes food and monetary donations, in addition to volunteer service hours at local food banks. CalPERS did rate first in the category of most money raised, with more than 25% of the overall total. It's wonderful to see the compassion that our team has in addressing the needs that others may have. I'd like to take a moment to thank Hilda Torres of our Member Account Management Division for leading this year's effort. So that does conclude my report, President Taylor, but I am happy to take questions.